Hello, I'm Robert McKay. The channel, of course, is Christianity on the Bottom Shelf, and I don't explain that name every time, but I do occasionally, and let me do it now. J. Vernon McGee, when he was doing his Through the Bible program, did it very simply. It wasn't any kind of a deep exposition at all. And he said that the reason he did it that way was he was putting the cookies on the bottom shelf so everybody could reach them. And that's what I'm doing with this channel as best I can. I want to explain various aspects of Christianity in such a way that even if you know nothing about Christianity already, you can understand what the Christian position is. As I'm sure y'all know, I can't remember if it was yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, there was yet another school shooting, this time in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this is not my subject, but I will say to you that there is never, ever, ever a school shooting at a place where the people can shoot back. Every single school shooting or mass shooting you can point me to is at a place where the people were unarmed, unable to defend themselves. But as I say, that's not my point. My point is that whether it's this, or a traffic accident, or someone falling off, I couldn't have planned that if I tried. As I said the word falling, the phone fell. Oy vey. I'll just have to sit further back. It slipped again. This is a very amateur production, as you just saw. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, the phone is propped up in front of me, and that's how I record. So, whether it's any of the things I mentioned, or as I was saying, someone falls off the cliff, if it's a young person, somebody somewhere will certainly say, he was taken too soon. Well, the passive voice is very instructive. Not only is it a way to sound pompous and pretentious, and believe me, if you use the passive voice all the time, that's exactly how you sound. Not only is it that, but it's a way to have an action without anyone performing the action. It's very impersonal. And so when you say, he was taken too soon, well, there's a taking, but there's no person, no agency doing the taking. And so when I hear that phrase, and when you hear it, you should, the very first thing that comes to your mind should be, who took him? Was it karma? Well, if it's karma, then it wasn't too soon, was it? That was what he deserved for whatever he had done at some point in the past. Now, understand, there is no such thing as karma. There isn't. Christianity and karma are utterly incompatible. But there are those who believe in karma, and those who do cannot say, he was taken too soon, because karma got him when it was supposed to, didn't it? Was it just the impersonal universe? Well, then there's neither too soon nor too late nor right on time. If it's just the impersonal, godless universe, then the time is totally irrelevant. The only thing it means anything to is us. And compared to the vast impersonal universe, we're not even a flea bite on an elephant. So again, it's a meaningless statement. The only way it can mean something is if there is a person. Let's denominate that person God. Because after all, that's who's in charge, although we're not coming to that, at least not yet. But just for the sake of convenience, we'll say God. Well, if we have God, then that brings us to the next question. Who said it was too soon? Did I say it? Well, if I said it, who am I to argue with God's timing? If you said it, who are you to argue with God's timing? If Joe Blow down the road said it, who is he to argue with God's timing? And so this, he was taken too soon, that is essentially a meaningless statement. If it's karma, then it must have been right on time. If it's the universe, timing is irrelevant. If it's a personal God, then we have to assume, because he's God, that he did what he did at exactly the right time. Now, I don't at all intend to make light of the grief of those whose children, whose friends, whose brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, whatever. I don't intend to make light of their grief at all. I've been married 46 years. As of today, I'm recording this, well, actually it's 12:07, so it's into the 30th of August. The 29th of August is my wedding anniversary. I have now been married 46 years. My wife's 78. If she dies tomorrow, that will be too soon for me. I want another 46 years. Now, that's not a rational, reasonable thing to want. In another 46 years, I will be, well, I'm 65 plus 40 would be 105 plus 6 would be 111. Maybe I could live that long. But my wife's 78. Plus 40 is 118 plus 6 is 1. That can't be right. If I'm going to be 111, she's 13 years older than me. That would be 111 plus 10 is 121 plus 3 is 124. That's at the very outside of bare possibility. The fact of the matter is we don't really have any rational reason to look forward to another 46 years. You know, can you imagine being married for 92 years? That is that would be more time married than most people live. It's just not rational to believe it. But I would still say, I would still feel, let me put it that way, because my feelings and my knowledge of truth are not always in accord. I would feel like it was too soon if my wife died tomorrow, even after 46 years, even after she's lived nearly 80. But what I feel is not the standard. In this matter, what I think is not even the standard, and what I think is far more important than what I feel. And I need to do a video on that, on the proper relationship of emotion, fact, rational conclusion, and knowledge. But this isn't the video I'm going to do that with. Okay, I'm at 10 minutes. I try to keep these things simple. The bottom shelf, remember. I try to keep them short, I mean to say. But if my wife dies tomorrow, will it be in actual fact too soon? Not if God is God. He knows better than me and my wife and all the billions of people on earth put together what the right time is. He knows better than anyone or everyone else put together when the proper time for someone's life to end is. Now again, I don't mean to trivialize the grief of those left behind. If my wife dies tomorrow, I will be heartbroken. It will kill me. Not literally, please, not literally. But it's only been in the past 10 years or so that I could even begin to imagine life without her. I've always known intellectually that life will go on. It's only been fairly recently that I could believe that it really will. And if that's the way I feel before the event, those who have been through it must feel even worse. And I won't pretend that I know how they feel, because I don't. I've not been there. But what is the ultimate truth here? Is it how we feel? Or is it the will and the purpose and the wisdom and the knowledge and the love of God? It's God. And that is a greater comfort than karma could ever be. Karma is just, you do this, you get that for it. It's just a matter of the scales balancing. There's no love involved in karma. If it's just the universe, that's also impersonal. There's no concern. There's no compassion. It's just, that's how it is. Tough toenails if you don't like it. With God, even when from His hand come to us trials and pains, we know that He does this for the best possible reasons. We know that He loves His people with an everlasting love, the love that sent Christ to the cross. We know that He is compassionate, that He is compassionate for the weak and the poor and the sick and all those who suffer. And so even when hard things come from His hand and we cry and we moan and we want it to be different, we know that this is not just impersonal karma. It's not just the universe grinding over us. It is God doing the best possible thing. And we who are believers know that there will come a day when we will stand before His throne. We will see everything clearly, and we will say, yes, Lord, you were right to do those things in that way, and I do not regret what I suffered because it was right.